Donald Trump survives assassination attempt. Taiwan monitors Chinese military surge. Human remains found in second British city. Hong Kong's government regulate online car-hailing platforms. Smuggler caught with 104 snakes in his pants at the Chinese border. Photo surfaces of Lionel Messi with Lamine Yamal as a baby.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, July 15th, and here are your top stories. Donald Trump was shot in the ear in an attempted assassination during a campaign rally on Saturday, an attack that will likely reshape this year's U.S. presidential race while raising sharp questions about the security provided to the Republican candidate. In the moments after the shooting, Trump was swarmed and covered by his security agents. He quickly emerged from the scrum, his face streaked with blood, and pumped his fist in the air, mouthing the words, "Fight, fight, fight." The Trump campaign later said he was doing well and appeared to have suffered no major injury besides a wound on his upper right ear.
Early on Sunday, the FBI identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the subject involved in what it termed an attempted assassination. He was a registered Republican, according to state voter records. The agency said the suspect was shot dead by Secret Service agents after he opened fire from the roof of a building about 140 meters from the stage where Trump was speaking. An Arkansas 15-style semi-automatic rifle was recovered near his body. One person who attended the rally was killed, and 2 other spectators were critically wounded. Law enforcement officials told reporters they had not yet identified a motive for the attack.
Taiwan said Thursday that it was closely watching the Chinese military, which it said posed a rising threat to the region, after a flurry of warplanes passed near the island to join drills with China's Shandong aircraft carrier in the Pacific. The Chinese military exercises coincide with the NATO summit in Washington, where a draft communique says China has become a decisive enabler of Russia's war effort in Ukraine and continues to pose systematic challenges to Europe and to security. Taiwan's defense minister said that Shandong passed close to the Philippines on the way to the Pacific exercises.
In its daily update on Chinese military activity over the past 24 hours, released on Thursday morning, Taiwan's defense ministry said it had detected 66 Chinese military aircraft around the island. Of those, 39 passed to the south and southeast of Taiwan. On Wednesday, it detected 36 aircraft heading to the western Pacific to carry out drills with the Shandong. Taiwan's defense ministry released 2 pictures, a grainy black and white image of a Chinese J-16 fighter and a color image of a nuclear-capable H-6 bomber, which it said were taken recently but did not specify where or when. Ministry spokesperson Sun Li-Fang said, "The military has a detailed grasp of the activities in the seas and waters around the Taiwan Strait, including the Chinese Communists' aircraft and ships."
On Friday, British police found human remains in a West London apartment which they believe are connected to body parts found earlier this week in another city. Authorities are now on the hunt for a Colombian man thought to be linked to the case. Investigations have been underway since 2 suitcases were found on Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol, about 160 kilometers west of the capital. Police previously said they contained the remains of 2 men. The Metropolitan Police stated that officers believe the newly discovered body parts are connected to the human remains found in Bristol.
It added that a 36-year-old man arrested in London over the grisly find has been released without charge. They are now searching for another man believed to be linked to the case. Officers said their priority is to find Yostin Andres Mosquera, a 24-year-old Colombian national, naming him for the first time. They released a photo of Mosquera clad in a black Adidas baseball cap, black jeans, a black jacket, black trainers with thick white soles, and a black backpack. Officers also believe they know the identity of the 2 male victims, but formal identification is yet to take place. Police are trying to locate and inform their next of kin. The investigation began when Avon and Somerset police received a call late on Wednesday about a man with a suitcase acting suspiciously on the bridge in Bristol.
The Hong Kong government is seeking to regulate online car-hailing platforms through licensing and impose tougher penalties on illegal ride services, likely impacting tech companies such as Uber. Transport officials sent a document to the legislature on Monday asking lawmakers to further study the proposal. They also indicated plans to assess and iron out details, such as requirements for obtaining licenses and the number of vehicles that can be run through online platforms. Authorities plan to complete the legislative proposal sometime in 2025.
Hong Kong's taxi industry has long resisted online platforms like Uber, seeing them as a threat to its business. In Hong Kong, it is illegal for drivers of private vehicles to provide paid services to customers without a permit. Police have in the past arrested some Uber drivers suspected of driving without a permit, and in 2018, the city's court system fined more than 24 drivers. Uber, which started operating in Hong Kong in 2014, remains a popular choice in a city where many residents are frustrated with poor taxi services. In the document, the government said it hopes for a win-win situation for the transport industry and passengers through licensing and an improvement in the quality of taxi services.
In China, snakes can be farmed and eaten. However, they cannot be carried alive into the country, especially if you try to smuggle more than 100 of them in your pants. That's what one man found out as he attempted to thwart customs officials at Fujian Port, a land crossing between Hong Kong and Shenzhen in southern China. Authorities said that when the unnamed trafficker was intercepted, he had 104 live snakes on him, including milk snakes and Texas rat snakes. China's customs authorities said during the inspection, customs officers found 6 canvas bags sealed with tape inside the pockets of the traveler's pants.
A video accompanying the statement showed officers inspecting Ziploc bags filled with reptiles. Many of the species are non-native to China, and the authorities stated that it's illegal to carry or send live animals and plants into the country. China is notorious for animal trafficking and is considered a global hub for the illegal trade. Exotic animals are highly prized as pets, while trafficked goods, such as endangered shark fins, are used in traditional Chinese medicine. Authorities have been cracking down on the illicit trade in recent years, imposing stiffer sentences, including life in prison. China's clampdown on wildlife for human consumption has affected the snake trade amid concerns over zoonotic diseases, such as the coronavirus that sparked the pandemic in 2020.
When Joan Montfort took photos of Lionel Messi with a baby for a charity calendar almost 17 years ago, he knew the long-haired young man would make it big in soccer. He could not have imagined the little boy would as well. The baby in the viral photos was none other than Lamine Yamal, the Spanish wonderkind, who at 16 is showing such promise that he's already being compared to the greats. He is the youngest player for Spain and also became the youngest ever in the ongoing European Championship in Germany.
More than that, Yamal may well become the youngest player ever to play in the final of the continental competition, after his curling semifinal wonder goal helped Spain beat France on Tuesday and take a step closer to winning the trophy. Just hours later, Messi doubled Argentina's lead in the Copa America semifinal against Canada, and the older man in the photo will most likely lead his team into the tournament's final against Colombia. One of the long-forgotten photos from 2007 resurfaced after Yamal's father posted it on Instagram last week with the text, "The beginning of two legends." Montfort said the photo shoot took place in the visitors' locker room at Barcelona's Camp Nou in the autumn of 2007, when Yamal was just a few months old.
The answer for last Friday was A, coincidence. It's not a coincidence that none of the directors are women. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of human remains found in second British city. Number 1, remains. 遗体遗骸. They had discovered human remains. Number 2, suspicious. 可疑的. They became suspicious of his behavior and contacted the police. Number 3, victim. 受害者,罹难者. Schools are the latest victims of cuts in public spending. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.